Have you ever tried to explain something to someone and they just didn't get it? Maybe it was directions to your house. Maybe it was why a movie mattered to you. Maybe it was something at work that seemed obvious to you, but required a 20-minute explanation before anyone understood. Now imagine explaining something to someone who has read almost everything ever written, but has never actually experienced anything. Someone with all the words, but none of the lived context. That's what talking to an AI is like. And the good news? It's easier than you think. Because the secret isn't learning special commands. The secret is to just talk. Here's the first thing that trips people up. They think they need to talk to AI like they're programming a computer. They use short, clipped phrases, keywords strung together. They strip out all the natural language, all the context, because that's what they think machines need. It's the opposite. The model was trained on human language. Billions of words of people talking like people. When you strip your message down to robotic fragments, you're actually making it harder for the model to understand you. So talk like a person. Use complete sentences. Explain yourself the way you would to a smart colleague who's new to your project. Can you help me understand why my plant's leaves are turning yellow? It's a pothos near a north-facing window, and I water it once a week. That's not too much information. That's good information. That's a conversation. Think about the difference between explaining something to a stranger versus explaining it to a friend. With a stranger, you start from scratch. You establish basics. You don't assume shared knowledge. With a friend, you can skip ahead. You reference past conversations, shared experiences. An AI is always the stranger, at least at the start of each conversation. It doesn't know your background, your preferences, your situation. It doesn't know that when you say, "my usual style," you mean minimalist and slightly sardonic. It doesn't know you've tried 3 solutions already. So tell it. Not everything, not your life story, but the relevant context. The things a thoughtful stranger would need to help you well. I'm writing a blog post for small business owners who are skeptical about new technology. I want a friendly but not condescending tone. Now the AI isn't guessing. Now it has something to work with. Here's a truth that might free you. AI doesn't do subtext. When you talk to a person, there are layers. There's what you say and what you mean. There's politeness that signals actual preferences. There's the pause that speaks volumes. AI misses all of that. If you say, maybe you could shorten this a bit, the AI might shorten it a bit, or it might not catch that maybe means definitely, and a bit means cut it in half. Be direct. Be specific. Say what you actually want. Please shorten this from 500 words to 300 words, keeping the main argument but removing the examples. That's not rude, that's clear. And clear is kind, because it leads to better results, faster. Here's something that changes everything. The first response doesn't have to be the last response. You can iterate, you can refine, you can say, that's close, but, and guide the AI toward what you need. This isn't failure, this is collaboration. Think about working with a human collaborator. You wouldn't expect them to read your mind on the first try. You'd expect a back and forth, a gradual convergence toward what you're looking for. AI works the same way. This is good, but can you make it less formal? I like the structure. Can you add an example to the second point? The ending feels abrupt. Can you add a sentence that ties back to the opening? Each exchange teaches the model more about what you want. Each response gets closer. The conversation is the process. Here's something subtle but powerful. When you give the AI a role, you change the language it draws from. You are a patient teacher explaining this to a complete beginner. You are a harsh but fair editor reviewing my draft. You are a friend I'm venting to who will validate my feelings before offering advice. These aren't magic words, they're context. They help the model select from different patterns, the way a teacher talks versus an editor versus a supportive friend. Language carries identity. When you invoke a role, you're tuning the output to match what you need. There's a principle underneath all of this: garbage in, garbage out. Or, more positively, quality in, quality out. A vague question gets a vague answer. A thoughtful question gets a thoughtful answer. This isn't the AI being difficult. It's the AI reflecting what it has to work with. If you get a half-formed response, that's information. It's telling you your input needs work. So invest in your prompts. Take the extra 30 seconds to add context. Be specific. The AI can't want to help you more, but you can help it help you better. So here's the whole thing, simplified. Just talk. Clearly, honestly. Talk like you're speaking to a brilliant assistant who has never met you before. Give them what they need to help you. Tell them what you actually want, not what you think you should ask for. Be willing to iterate. Remember that the conversation is the process, not just the precursor to the result. The AI isn't magic. It isn't going to read your mind. But if you meet it halfway, if you communicate with care, you might be surprised by what becomes possible. Talk to it, see what happens, and don't be afraid to try again if the first attempt doesn't land. That's not failure, that's conversation. The future's already here, and you get to decide who you are in it. Please subscribe, please like.
Just be.